Good morning. You see that tree? Right there? It came down not a minute ago. See well, there's the first dollars where its trunk was. It came right down. Well, I'm still at the shelter. I'm going to stay here for a little bit longer. It's about 10 o'clock on September 27th. Yeah, it's still it's really breezy. It's not raining too hard at the moment, just pretty breezy. The other two hikers that were here overnight, they left already. The one left at, I don't know, maybe 8:30, and the other guy left maybe a half hour ago. I'm gonna wait out a little bit longer because I want the rain to pretty much be done. But those are hickory nuts that are falling off the trees, hitting the top of the roof. It's been an interesting night, let me tell you. Really not too bad. I mean, it was raining and there was some wind, but the wind really didn't pick up until just a little bit ago. All in all, it wasn't that bad. You know, it could have been a lot worse. I feel pretty fortunate that it didn't get hit too hard here. I'm sure some areas got hit a lot worse. So my plan for today is after I get packed up, and again, I'm going to wait a little bit longer, see if it dies down some. But the plan is to hike, it's 10.5, 10.9 something miles, mostly downhill. And that'll get me into Hot Springs. And I'm going to get a good meal. I'm going to get a hotel room. And tomorrow's supposed to be a lot nicer. Of course, who knows what the trail is going to look like after all the rain and the wind. I'm expecting a lot of blowdowns on the trail I'm going to have to navigate. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm okay. All is well for now. And I'm going to just, like I say, wait a little bit longer before I get going. But yeah, it's been interesting. Didn't have, hurricane, dealing with a hurricane on as part of the trail. But actually, this is the third one. The first one was when I was still in New Hampshire. We had the remnants of Beryl came through, and we just missed some bad weather back there. I think the bad weather was south of us. I don't remember if south or north of us. And then, of course, I hit the remnants of Hurricane Debbie during my the day I went up Katahdin, and now Helene. So it's been interesting. All right, well, not going to get you a moving shot, but as always, if I see anything interesting, I'll grab a picture or some video. But for now, that's what the trail looks like. Well, I don't know if there's normally falls there, or it's just because of the rain. But, well, I'm going to grab it while I can. So check out this blowdown. That's right in the middle of the trail. I mean, this is the trail right here, or what's left of it. And got this blowdown coming across. That's the top of the tree. Alright, so if I follow the trail just a little bit here, there's some more of it. I'm having to crawl over and under and through of these as I'm going today. Fortunately, most of the wind is done, and the rain seems to be pretty much done as well. Well, getting a decent view here. A slight shower came through about 15 minutes ago, just as I was, almost dry. But it didn't last too long. We got a nice view here up to that ridge and down to, I believe, that's the French Broad River. I'll be crossing that in just a little bit and heading into Hot Springs. Yeah, so hasn't been too bad once the winds died down. There's still a little bit of wind coming through, but really not too bad overall. For about an hour though, from about 11 to 12, it's pretty windy. And I showed you that one blowdown. I've been having to deal with that all day long. That was probably the worst one. But there's been a few others that I've had to navigate through. They've been quite challenging. The crews are going to have some work ahead of them over the next week or so. But doing okay. Yeah, I mean, the storm's pretty much passed through. Get some remnants now. And the forecast says tomorrow is supposed to be nice. And then the day after, some more rain. That's all right. As long as it's just rain, I can deal with it. All right, well, I'll see you again in a little bit when I start heading into town. But for now, here's what the trail looks like. Bit of a rocky outcropping here, and we've got a bit of a view down into Hot Springs. All right, a little bit closer now, and the river is over its banks. There is flooding. I have no clue how that's going to affect me. Oh boy. Now, that was the moment that I should have turned around, but I didn't. I walked down toward the river, and when I got down there, it was washed out. The trail was washed out. It was completely covered by the river that had overflowed its banks. I wasn't sure what to do. So I made a really poor decision, and I tried to parallel the trail up along the bank that was still there. And it was pretty steep going. And finally I got to a point where I was like, I don't think I can go any further. But I also didn't think I could make it back. So I attempted to contact emergency services. And using the SOS feature on my Garmin. And they couldn't give me an ETA on when they could get to me because of everything else that was going on in town. So I spent a night along the river, and it was not a fun night. It was not comfortable, and I didn't sleep well at all. I probably got about 2 hours of sleep, because I was pretty worried. Woke up and, I waited until the time that they said that they could check with emergency services again, and that was 8 a.m. And 8 a.m. came, and the folks on the Garmin SOS on the other side of that said that they still didn't have an ETA. And so at that time I said, okay, well, it's time to try and go back. I wasn't going to try and go forward. I wasn't going to make another mistake. So I went back. I was able to get back to the trail, and then I hiked backwards. I hiked northbound and got to a dirt road, a gravel road. Waited there for a while, and they still had no ETA on when to get me. And so finally I looked at my map again and said, hey, and I didn't remember from the day before, that I can, if I go a little bit further, I go about 1 more mile, I can get near an actual road that led directly into hot springs. And so I got to that roadway, and I heard a vehicle coming, and so I put up my poles, and fortunately they stopped. That's the first time that I had been really successful hitchhiking. And there were just a couple of guys in a pickup truck, and they told me what was going on, that they were going to Hot Springs to check in on family, and that if I could get into town, great, and then they would take me there, and if I couldn't, that there was another option. Like they could take me close to another town, and so they drove me there, and I was very fortunate because I was completely out of food. I hadn't eaten since the previous night. So yeah, I'm disappointed in myself that I made several poor decisions, and it put me in a bad spot, and it also put a little bit more stress on the emergency workers, because they had bigger issues than me. Not that they didn't ever get to me, because again, they had more important issues. But it's just one of those things that I have to learn from when I'm hiking, and that you got to be careful about making poor decisions. And if you make one poor decision, don't make another one, because what's that, the sunk cost fallacy, right? Don't make another poor decision because you've already bought into it. I'm very fortunate that things worked out well, and I'm upset that I put Jen through a lot of worrying, I'm sure, and I hope never to do that again. So I eventually did, like I said, I did get into Hot Springs, and well, that's what's coming up now. This is Elmer's Sunnybank Inn, and that's where I'm staying tonight. It's an old Victorian house. It was used by both the Union and Confederates during the Civil War as a hospital, and is on the National Registry of Historic Places. It's really cool inside, but there's no electricity, so I can't really show it well to you. Yeah, so I got into hot springs, and it's just sad what happened here. I mean, those of us who have lived through some hurricanes in Florida, the devastation up here is just like what we've seen in some of them. I remember Hurricane Andrew when I was, just in high school, and how it devastated Homestead. And I mean, it's a different kind of devastation here. The river is way over its banks, and just flooded the nice little downtown area that they've got here, and businesses are just destroyed. There's mud everywhere. Part of the roadway is torn up. You can't get through the town. It's just not safe. They're not letting vehicles go past this one part on the road. As I was walking into town, a woman came up to me and was crying, and asked if she could tell that I was through hiking, and she told me, okay, you go to Elmer's, he'll have a place for you, even though it's really it's closed because he doesn't have electricity, and probably not supposed to have guests there, but he put me up for the night. And all I could do was sympathize with her, because I've seen what storms do. Then I actually saw it. I heard that they had to do 12 water rescues yesterday. People stayed in their homes and then couldn't get out. I had a interesting time myself last night, but pales in comparison to what these folks are going through. I think I have a friend coming to pick me up tomorrow, if he can get through. And he's going to put me up for a couple days, nights, I don't know. I think I'm going home for a while. All the reports I'm hearing say the trail's in just horrible condition going south. And I don't know, things like, am I going to be able to resupply along the way? I mean, folks have to be able, the folks that live in the towns have to be fed first before food can go to the hikers and things like that. So I think what I'm going to do is figure out how to get home, give it a week or so, and then try and get back up here and finish out the last 280 miles or so. But I mean, I showed you in the previous video what the winds did just in one section, and that was just one tree I showed you. I had to navigate like 20 of them over like a 10-mile section. I don't know what the rest is going to be like. So that's sort of my plan right now, is to get that, I'm safe, and let's let some of the rebuilding happen. Let the amenities get back to the towns, and let some of the trail crews get out there and make sure the trail is passable. So it's sad. It's really sad. And I mean, I know it's not just this town. I saw a short picture, a short clip of what happened in Damascus, and I was just in Damascus, just a couple weeks ago, and it's affected the entire region. They said that they got 8 inches of rain 2 days ago. And I saw the river and how fast it was moving and how wide it was. And it's not supposed to be like that. And I just think about all these rivers that go through the Appalachian mountain region. So I'm sad, but I think I need to take a hiatus, a brief hiatus, and it's gonna help me too. Let's be honest. I'm tired. I need to put a few pounds back on, and get back on and finish it with and finish. All right. Well. Hey, so one thing, and this happens a lot of times when these natural disasters occur, but as I was walking through the town, so many of the people here were wearing shirts that said Hot Springs, or a shirt that was for the local brewery, or the local outfitter, or different things like that. And that was pretty cool. I liked seeing that. And then the several restaurants and diners that are here in town, all their food was going to go to waste. So they basically had in this one area, they had an open kitchen, and they were cooking it up and donating it to the volunteers, the people that are here helping to clean up. Elmer told me to go down there and get some food, and I did, and it was good, and I enjoyed it, because there's nothing else for me to eat here. I'm just being honest. And I shouldn't say that. So I don't have a lot of cash on me, and I went into the convenience store, and I just started talking to the cashier, probably the owner, and I said, I don't have a lot of cash, and she didn't have a credit, her credit wasn't working because there's no signal, there's no they're running off of a generator here. And she said, if you need something to eat, go grab a couple things. So, and I don't live here. I'm just walking through. I may never, I'll probably come back to the town once again because I'm going to start back up from here. But she didn't have to do that. And I was really appreciative of that. The things like this, the disasters often bring out the best in people. It's too bad we're not all like that all the time. So I'd like to thank the folks here in Hot Springs for being so welcoming in such a trying time. Well, as always, if you've stuck through to the end, I appreciate it. I'll see you next time on the trail.